The old house stood on a hill overlooking the town. It was a looming skeletal structure. Locals called it Whistler's House. The name sent shivers down their spines. Legend told of a lone man who lived there. He was a musician, they said. He played his haunting melodies day and night. Then one day the music stopped. The townspeople found the man dead in his home. His instrument was gone, but the music lingered. People swore they could still hear it. Faint whistling like a ghostly tune seemed to emanate from the house. It was a warning. The house was never quiet. It was waiting. No one dared to go near the Whistler's house. Not anymore. Not after what happened to the others. It was a place of whispers and shadows, a place where the living feared to tread. The old house was a dare waiting to happen, at least that's what Max said. We were huddled in our usual spot, the old oak tree at the edge of town. Halloween night, a perfect night for a scare. Whistler's house? Sarah shivered, pulling her jacket tighter. Are you crazy? Scared? Max grinned, his eyes gleaming in the moonlight. No! Sarah shot back a little too quickly. We all knew she was. We all were, to be honest. But nobody backed down from a dare, especially not on Halloween. Double dog dare? Max pressed, his grin widening. He knew we were hooked. There was no going back now. The woods surrounding Whistler's house were dark. The trees were gnarled claws reaching out to grab us. The air grew colder as we ventured deeper. The silence was broken only by our own nervous breaths. This is creepy, whispered Chris, his voice barely audible. You think? I muttered back, my heart pounding in my chest. The wind picked up, rustling the leaves. It sounded like whispers, whispers that seemed to follow us, to mock our fear. We stumbled on, our pace quickening. We just wanted to get there, get it over with. Little did we know the real terror was yet to come. The house loomed before us, a skeletal silhouette against the moonlit sky. The windows were dark, gaping holes that seemed to watch our every move. The air grew heavy, thick with a strange, almost palpable silence. The porch creaked ominously under our weight as we approached. The door hung ajar as if inviting us in, or perhaps as if something wanted out. A cold draught seeped from within, carrying with it the scent of decay and something else. Something faintly sweet and metallic. It sent a shiver down my spine. Section 5, a chorus of whistles. We stepped inside. The air was thick with dust and the silence was deafening, but there was something else, a faint sound, a high-pitched whistling. It seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. Did you hear that? Sarah whispered, her eyes wide with fear. We all heard it, the whistling. It was soft at first, barely audible, but it grew louder and louder until it filled the entire house. It wasn't a friendly tune, it was eerie, haunting. It sent shivers down our spines. We were in the Whistler's house now, and the whistling was just the beginning. Section 6. The music box. We followed the sound of the whistling. It led us to a small room at the end of a hallway. The door creaked open, revealing a dusty old nursery. A rocking horse stood frozen in time, a crib lay empty, and in the corner on a small table sat a music box. It was ornately carved, the wood dark and polished with age, a delicate ballerina figurine perched on top, and it was open. The whistling was coming from the music box. It was faint, almost drowned out by the now frantic beating of our hearts, but it was definitely the source of the haunting melody. Section 7. The House Awakens. Max reached out. His hand hovered over the music box. Don't! I hissed, but it was too late. He closed the lid with a snap. The music stopped. Silence descended upon the house. For a moment nothing happened. Then a low growl echoed through the house. The floorboards groaned beneath us. The walls seemed to pulsate. The air grew heavy, thick with menace. The temperature plummeted. We were trapped. Section 8. Vanishing Act. The laughter started then, a cold, cruel sound that seemed to come from the very walls themselves. The house was alive, and it was toying with us. One by one, my friends started to disappear, swallowed whole by the shadows that danced and writhed in the darkness. Sarah! I screamed, but my voice was lost in the cacophony of shrieks and laughter. Terror lent me speed. I didn't look back. I didn't want to see what was taking them, what was dragging them into the darkness. Section 9. A desperate escape. I ran through the house, through the darkness. The laughter pursued me, echoing in my ears. The house seemed to twist and turn, a labyrinth designed to trap me. I burst out of the house and into the night. The fresh air hit me like a slap. I didn't stop running until I reached the edge of the woods. I glanced back. The house stood on the hill, a dark silhouette against the stormy sky. And then I heard it, the whistling. It was faint, but unmistakable. It was coming from the house, and it seemed to be laughing. Section 10. The whistling remains. They never found the others. The police searched for days, but the woods around Whistler's house held their secrets close. The town never forgot that night, nor did I. The whistling haunted my dreams, a constant reminder of the horror I witnessed. Whistler's house still stands on the hill, a spectre in the moonlight. They say the music box was never found, but sometimes on a quiet night, if you listen closely, you can still hear it. The faint, haunting sound of a music box and the chilling laughter of the Whistler's house.